Hello everybody, I am FuzzyFace. Welcome back to this FuzzyFace Racing series on Motorsport Manager. Joseph Newgarden is currently first. Jerry Vips is punching well above his weight at the moment in 5th place in the championship. We are currently first place in the Constructors. We're battling, it seems, just with Arden this season. Arden having a really good time. They've got two really good drivers in Kenan and Ed Jones. Going to be quite hard to keep that up, especially if Jerry Vip starts to drop away as the season goes on. We stopped 29 days before the Black Sea Grand Prix in Russia because we've got a new vote going on. It is for the addition of the Vancouver Track C, so it won't go up to 9 races. We're just going to abstain because hopefully we're not in Formula 3 next season, so it's been voted for. So there will be 9 races in Formula 3 next season. Hopefully we're not going to be here for that. We're just going to get ahead because we've got the reliability work done now. We've got factory staff idle, so we're just going to have a quick look at what we can do. We're at 100% on the gearbox, the suspension, the engine is at 100% as well. We're going to get working on the wings now, which is going to be ready 9 days before the next Grand Prix. So all of that is done. We're still working on the headquarters. We've got 7 weeks until the handling development center is done. 15 weeks until the test track is done. Even though we've done some decent work to the headquarters, we've managed to get the factory built. We've got the design center built. We've got the scouting facility built up to level 2. We still do have the worst HQ out of all the Formula 3 teams. We do have the worst car, even though all the parts are spec. I'm guessing that our current brakes part is still the worst part in the series, or well, not guessing, it must be. Even with Joseph Newgarden in the car, we've got the 6th rated driver lineup. That is because Jerry Vips is pretty much just a 1-star driver, but he's doing pretty well this season, so he's going to be keeping that seat. Maybe for next season we're going to have to decide if we go up, whether if we stay down. We still are 3 days away from the brakes being built, so we might as well get to that and see if what these new brakes are going to be doing. But we've got a Formula 1 race and a Formula 2 race in between. Kimi Raikkonen wins in Russia, Vettel second, so a 1-2 for the Ferrari team. Scott Dixon still doing well in this Mercedes. He retains his spot at the top of the driver's standing. Lewis Hamilton not having the best of seasons. Ferrari though take a commanding lead at the early point in Formula 1 this season. Rapak's yet to score. McLaren have only got 1 point, whereas in Formula 2 Bourdais gets a first place. Sato second place, Bourdais winning for MP Motorsport. MP, no, Art are actually winning. Could be joined in Formula 3 by Campos next season. Hopefully we're not here for that. But anyway, let's get on. Let's see if we can get this brakes build done. Right, this brakes build is now done. We've moved up a tiny little bit. Hopefully if we get rid of all this out of the car now, we can start working on the brakes. We'll throw everything into it. It's going to be fully upgraded 9 days, 10 days after the race, so we can get that in to Newgarden's car, and then that should give us the updated stats on where we're at. No, we've dropped down a bit. Right, that bar actually went down then, so we've got the 186 to the 168. Yep, that is right. But even with that, we've still got the worst brakes in the series. Right, so the brakes are now fully reliable. We're going to get back to working on the front wing and the rear wing. That is going to be ready just about after the race. This is going to be done. Are we still about the same point? Yep, we still do have the worst brakes overall in the season, in the series this season. Reliability work complete. So we're at the start of the Russian Grand Prix weekend. Reliability is pretty much almost there with the rear wing and the front wings. We're there with the brakes which you've put into the car. So hopefully Joseph Newgarden, he started the season off really well this season with a win in Milan and a win in Britain at Guildford. Hopefully we're going to be able to continue that in Black Sea. It looks like it's not going to be any rain here. Dubai, notoriously hot last season, it was 40 degrees, and it's going to be a little bit harder this season as we've only got 2 stars on the chassis for tyre wear and tyre heat, and it's going to be a little bit harder than last season to keep those tyres cool. So we're just going to have to look out for that when we do get to Dubai Grand Prix. But anyway, we're going to jump into the Black Sea weekend now. We'll be running practice and qualifying off camera as we usually do, and we will be back in a second for the race. Qualifying over, Newgarden on pole by the tiniest of margins over Tony Kanaan in the Arden car. We've got Joel Eriksson in the motor park in third, Pedro Piquet in the Van Amersfoort, 4th, I don't even know where. Joey Mawson, last season's Formula 3 champion in the Coronan, 19th. Falchero 20th in the Coronan. Coronan not having the best of times this season after a really impressive season last season. Surprisingly quick this time out. I didn't do much weight stripping. We've actually got rain at the start of the race, which we weren't expecting. Not much weight stripping, taking things down to 85%, which is a lot less than what we were doing last season. I don't know whether the AI is actually weight stripping at all yet this season. They don't seem to be. But anyway, let's just have a look at what this weather's going to be doing. It's going to be getting onto full wets pretty early, but we're going to start off on the inters. Just keep things fair. I would sometimes maybe risk that with the wets, but with the way the patch works now, it does swap over a little bit later. So we're going to attack on these tyres. We'll attack for maybe half a lap to get Newgarden on his way out front. So the inters can do about 9 laps. We can't really decide upon a strategy until we see what's going on. But we're going to go for this super soft since we've got 2 pairs. We might be able to get onto the super soft at some point. There's no point using the pit fueling, the refueling boost there, because there is no refueling at the moment. And let's get jumped straight into this race. Newgarden first. Jerry Vips did really well getting up into 8th as well. A nice qualifying session from him. So we just need to keep our eye on this weather and get it right when we're going to come into the pits. Hopefully Newgarden can get a good start. Cannan's away well in the Arden as well. We're just going to have to watch his fuel load. We're under pressure from Joel Eriksson in the motor park, and Cannan goes flying through there. So we're going to get down to high mode, possibly somewhere about 3/4 of the way around this lap. We'll do the same with Vips. Currently away in 2nd place. Cannan flying away with this. There's going to be a point where the wets are going to be the better tyre to go on to. Although the wet doesn't look like it's going to last too long. Although it does look like we've got about at least 3 laps where the wet tyre is more or less. Well, we can just keep pushing with this tyre, can't we? More or less the best tyre to be on, the wet tyre. We're going to get cars jumping into the pits this lap. No, we're not. We've got a lock up from Newgarden and from Vips as well. It looks like Vips locks up as well. So we're going to try. Should we risk going on to the wets? It doesn't look like anyone else is going to try risk doing that at this point. But Newgarden away into 1st place here. So he wants to pit for wets. So we're going to pit for wets. We're going to take the risk here. See whether any of the other cars do it. It's only about 3 laps, but 3 laps worth is about 30 seconds, so we're going to be able to get in and then get a pit stop out of the way as well. So we'll risk it. We'll go for one. Vips as well, he's up into 3rd. We're going to do, actually, let's just see. Cannan's actually staying out. We would actually just about, they would cross over. So we're going to keep Vips out for another lap. Newgarden, meanwhile, he's coming to the pits. He can just go through this tyre like this. So he should be a lot quicker than these other cars around him now. Going to have to start recovering fuel from this point forward, though. Get back onto the medium. So Newgarden should be a lot quicker than all these other cars around him. Can he get back into 1st place and open up a gap? Doesn't look like it can happen. He's working his way through the field. Vips, meanwhile, is in 2nd place. He's staying out. Yeah, we're going to get down to full dries at some point, which means the crossover is going to be a little bit there if we don't get Newgarden back in. He wanted to pit for wets. We followed his advice. It doesn't look like he's going to get back into 1st place by the time the rain starts slowing down, although he's a lot quicker than the other cars, about 7 seconds quicker at the moment. He's going to get back towards 1st place, although Cannan is going to be a lot quicker. We've got Vips running low as well on this intermediate tyre. We're going to get him off. Oh, it's going to be pretty risky, but we're going to have to do the pit stop with him. Maybe we should have looked after that tyre a little bit more. We decided not, just to try and see what the weather was going to do. Although, no, we might as well. He's going to waste time in the pits. We might as well get him on to his... He's going to have to come in for a pair of super softs, isn't he? So we might as well do the inters. Get 3 laps out of them and then come in for the super softs. So we might as well go back onto the inters again. And then we should only have 1 stop to do after that, whereas we'd be slow on the intermediate tyre. Newgarden now has got a lead here. He's really burning through this pair of wet tyres. How much of a lead can he get? We don't know. Kanan's going to be slow on these tyres though. We're both going to be pitting about the same time to get onto dry tyres hopefully, although Kanan's going to start coming back. Hopefully we've got enough of a distance now. We've got one more lap to go on this wet tyre and then we can get in for this soft tyre, which could just about see us to the end of the race with Newgarden. Vips meanwhile is on this intermediate, so he's going to start pushing on this for as long as he can. The dry tyre, and Newgarden's lost out to Kanan finally, but we're going to get onto this soft tyre this lap. Balance to get him into the pits. I'm going to be so far behind Kanan though. Vips are really pushing on this intermediate tyre. He's done just about enough on this that he's going to be able to get into the pits, although if he stays out another lap, and then we're going to get him onto his soft tyre to finish the race. Just worked about perfectly for Vips here. We're going to have to start recovering some fuel though as well, because we're not really recovering any fuel. Newgarden has pitted. Kanan has pitted as well. Down into 5th though with Newgarden. Not the best of races for him. We're going to have to look after this tyre as well. Where is Vips going to come out of the pits? Vips comes out in 4th place, so not bad for him. He's going to have to look after this tyre as well a little bit, although not as much as Newgarden is. Hopefully we can get this tyre to the end of the race. As we've seen, Kanan and Aleshin have really started pushing on their soft tyres. We're just going to sit back until the end of the race and hope that they burn through their tyres. Hopefully our tyres is going to last a little bit longer, and there we're a lot quicker than Aleshin, it looks like, in the high-tech Grand Prix car. Have we got the pace to chase down Kanan? It doesn't look like it. Kanan pulling away out front, but Vip's doing really well at holding on to 4th place here. He's just working his way through this Grand Prix, having a really good race. 0.26. We're going to just about recover the fuel hopefully. Newgarden sets his quickest first sector of the race. Not really chasing down Kanan. Kanan doing a 126.4, although a second quicker there for Newgarden, as Kanan's probably started to dial back now. So we're going to start catching Kanan ever so slowly as this race goes on. Our tyres are pretty cool at the moment, so we might as well attack for a little bit on these. We'll push. We don't want to wear through them too much, although we should be able to get this to the end of the race. The quickest 3rd sector down to 13.5 seconds, quickly catching up, but we don't want to. Oh, we've got a problem with the engine. Hopefully that is going to last, and we don't want these tyres to go, so we're going to have to go back to medium mode. Vips meanwhile comfortably in 4th place. Newgarden in 2nd place. It looks like his run of 1st places are going to come to an end. We've got no chance of making this 11 seconds up, even though we're lapping a lot quicker than Kanan. His tyres are a lot worse off than ours though, heading into the final 2 laps. Although not by much. I don't think we're going to be able to catch him. No, we're starting to fall behind. The engine is starting to fail as well. Yeah, so it looks like this is going to be it. We don't think we're going to. Well, we've recovered the fuel. I don't think Aleshin's in any point where he can catch us, even if our tyres go. His tyres are going as well. Although Vips, meanwhile, if Aleshin's tyres are going, we've got a little bit more tyre than him, so maybe we can just go ahead and push here. Although we're running low on fuel, can we catch him on this last lap? It doesn't look like it. It looks like we've burnt our tyres out now. Maybe since we're under no pressure from Prost, maybe we can push them. I think Newgarden's just about finishes, and Kanan's going to come across the line. So can we take Aleshin on the final corner here? It doesn't look like it. The tyres are just about shot. No, Vips gets 4th place. That is an absolutely amazing finish for him. Newgarden, his run of 1st places comes to an end. 2nd place for him just didn't work out with that wet tyre. Almost worked out, although Kanan should be a lot quicker under race conditions, but he hasn't shown that recently. But he was a lot quicker at the start of the race. We were there or thereabouts. I don't think we'd have been any quicker blasting through the intermediates maybe. I think we would have been about the same or thereabouts. But anyway, we did 2 pit stops and still came in 2nd. Maybe we could have picked up 1st place if we'd have made that intermediates last, but that's why we might try and build a forecasting centre next, because we didn't know how long it was going to stay wet during the race. Joseph Newgarden set the quickest lap of the race, so he picks up an extra 2 points as well. Vips picks up 12. So where was Ed Jones? All the way down in 8th. So we're going to, even though Kanan's won, we're going to have extended our win at the top of the Constructors' Championship. Newgarden 14 points ahead of Kanan. Ed Jones in 3rd. Vips now moves up to 4th place. It looks like Robert Kubica in 5th place. So we've crossed the 100 point mark, 12 points ahead of Arden. So things looking good here for our promotion push this season. We've got a new unlock with Jerry Vips, light-footed on the wet tyres. Not something we're possibly going to use at any point. Morale boost for Newgarden for finishing on the podium. Only 870,000 coming out of the bank, so we're alright for cash until the end of the season. Mail, meanwhile, Newgarden puts it on pole. We'll do the interview. You finished well down the pecking order in practice, only managing to finish 13th. Did you struggle to find the right setup? No, because we were running pretty much race setup for most of practice, which is why we was yeah, we'll just go with that one. It doesn't upset anyone. So let's just have a quick look at what we can do with the brakes now. The last build was a 194. Can we forego that? Can we go above that with a 3-part build? Although there's not much here. We can't build risky parts in this car. We can go plus 25, 219. This is the only one that we can build, the last one that we can build. It won't be ready before the next race, although we possibly can't get it reliable enough to go in the car, although it's not better than the one. Once it's built, then the one that we have, we would have to build it up to be better than the one that we have at the moment. We've got a dilemma for Joseph Newgarden, and I've heard from a contact inside Artline Engineering that they're working on improving their driver's first lap performance. I've been analysing my telemetry with some of the mechanics, and they say there are a couple of ways in which I could improve. So should I work on improving my starts, or should we concentrate on my braking? I know this late braker adds a +2 to braking. I don't think that would affect him too much. Braking's 10, it would bring him in line, but first lap hero, I think it adds a +2 on the first lap to all the stats. So maybe if we can have him having a good start, because he's usually there or thereabouts at the top of the order. We saw in the last race that he was under pressure from Kanaan at the start. So if we can get first lap hero and get him away on the first lap, hopefully we're going to go with that one. Let's just see if that does add +2 to him. First lap here, +4 on the first lap, so even a lot more than what I thought we would be getting. So he's going to be possibly rated a 4-star driver on the first laps of the race, which is going to be really beneficial, I think, if he can get up at the top of the order, if he's on the front row of the grid. That is going to be a real boost for us this season, considering this season in 3 races he's been on the podium for all 3 and had 2 wins. So hopefully with a decent start, he's going to be away and just run away at the front of the order. We've got another dilemma now from Jerry Vips. Investment opportunity, an investment portfolio. We'll add some money to the team. We're going to accept the investment, obviously, £250,000. I have just noticed in Formula 2, it's just gone past the Formula 2 racing week, and they didn't actually have any qualifying. Looking here, random grids in Formula 2. There is no qualifying session. Grids are decided randomly, giving every driver an equal chance of being on pole position. So that is going to be interesting. If we can get up there next season, it's going to be really interesting. Next season there's going to be no qualifying. The grids are just going to be decided at random, which is just going to throw everything into turmoil, because there are 3 spec parts in Formula 2 in this game. You can build the engine, the gearbox and the brakes, whereas the pretty much the aero package, the main part of the chassis, is all a spec part. And they're removing Munich next season, so they're going down to, they're going from, is this F2? Sure, that was F2, wasn't it? Their season calendar is going from 12 races down to 11 next season. So not as much money to be made next season, although with the way our team works, we get a lump payment up front. Since we're a creator team, we always get a lump sum up front rather than the chairman paying us per race. We've finished now building the handling centre, so does that move us up? The headquarters now are not the worst. We're now up to 6 on the headquarters. We do have a new vote starting for long qualifying sessions. We moved from short to medium qualifying sessions this season. We're going to abstain because hopefully we're not going to be here next season. It's not going to make a real difference. It's been voted against anyway. So longer sessions rejected. We've got the brakes build now finished, so we're going to get into the garage and we're going to go ahead and work on this new brakes build. We'll focus on it. It might be good enough to go in the car, although it's a 186, so it possibly would be going in Jerry's car for this race, because we've got a 194. If we can get it there, it is going to go in Jerry's car, so we'll put it there for the time being. We'll just move on. We've got current sponsorship deals. My assistant tells me that we snagged some of the most lucrative sponsorship deals around, with second overall Coronan a long way above us. They've obviously been able to sign some really good sponsorship deals this season, with the marketability boost that Joey Mawson will have from having won F2 last season. We'll skip over that F1 result because we'll be doing a full F1 rundown at the end of this episode. So here we are at the Dubai weekend. We're still waiting for the HQ to be built. Hopefully this brake is good enough. It's at 83%. It's there or thereabouts. So it is going to go in Jerry's car this time out. So we're going to jump into the Dubai weekend now. Always, we've only got this Philip Morris bonus payment that we can accept, so we're going to be running practice and qualifying off camera once again, and we will be back in a second for the Dubai Grand Prix. Qualifying over. As you can see, the grid positions were 15th and 20th. We're a long way off the pace. We did the weight stripping about the same amount as we did last time. I'm going to take it one more further. We're going to go one further along to take the reliability down to 80%. We're gaining 300 performance, 15 in a couple of areas for Jerry Vips. But yeah, so that's 300 total from what we've done. 360 gain for Joseph Newgarden. Hopefully that's going to negate some of what we lost in qualifying. 15th and back of the grid for Jerry Vips, so it's going to be a little bit hard during this session. So we're just going to see what we're going to use. 14 laps. We can do it easily on these two sets of super soft, although obviously with the weather being really hot, 44 degrees we're starting out on, so it's going to be really hard at keeping these tyres cool. So we're only going to be pushing for the first half a lap on these tyres, if that, because these tyres are going to get really hot. So we're going to go for the super soft and the race trim knowledge. I think that's all we need to do before we get straight into this race. So let's go. We've got Ericsson in the motor park and Leshin in the high tech. Fortunately, the Ardens are on the front row of the green. Kanan's dropped back to third. Ed Jones is fifth. So they're our main competition. Kubica, who is sixth. Outline, I think, a third. They're the next best car. They do have Nicholas Prost in fourth as well. So hopefully we can get back up the order here. Otherwise, Arden are going to be really starting to challenge us for the constructors. They're only 12 points behind at the moment, I think. Yep, they're at the moment, with the way the points are, will be 10 points in front of us. So Newgarden makes a really bad start as well. So we're just going to play it easy with this fuel, should we? Just because we're behind at the moment, just get to pushing on these tyres now. Don't want to waste much of these tyres. We're just stuck behind a lot of traffic here. We might... It did work for us last season. We might just try and get out of the traffic at some point, because we know we've got a soft tyre that can do 11 laps. If we can get onto that soft tyre nice and early, if we can just like blow through this super soft tyre and then get off this tyre and avoid a lot of the traffic, maybe that is something we can think about doing. But we're going to switch back to medium now on the fuel load, so we're not going to waste fuel whilst we're stuck in traffic. Newgarden having a bad couple of laps as he's trying to work his way past cars to get up into the points. So let's just blow through this super soft and we'll get onto that soft tyre as quick as we can. If we just blow through this tyre, and then we can just try and get onto the soft tyre. Oh, and we've got Vips who's crashed now. Vips has crashed up in a ball of smoke around the middle of the track. I can't actually see the car. So we've just got to concentrate on Newgarden here. There's no safety car deployed, so we're just going to run the same thing. We're just going to push with Newgarden on this tyre. We know running in the hot zone, it's going to shred through this tyre. It's got blistering on it already, probably. We're up into 10th now. We're just going to get on to the soft tyre as quick as we can onto this, which can do 11 laps. So if we can do another 2 laps, hopefully, on this super soft tyre, move up the order a bit. There's a big bunch behind us, so we should have some clear air to run in if we do decide to pit. So we're going to set up for the pit stop this time around. This soft tyre hopefully then can get us to the end of the race, even in this hot weather. We're going to be coming out 17th, or we're going to be coming out in traffic because we're doing so well at moving up the order now. We're up into 8th, so hopefully we can make this stick towards the end of the race. The tyre's almost pretty shredded already after 5 laps, as we can see from pushing it. We've done a lot of damage to the tyre, which the other cars haven't done as yet. So hopefully we can get a nice quick pit stop here. No mistakes. There we go. We're just going to go into neutral out of the pits. 18th place. We've got a lot of clear air to work in here. We're chasing down Hughes. I don't even know what car Hughes is in. Hughes is in the second high tech. He's not as good as his as his teammate Aleshin, but Newgarden quickly catching up at the back of the grid here. I think he ran wide then, although we've got a crash. Norris is out of the Grand Prix. If we had a safety car out and we got back up to the back of the grid, that would work out, as everyone... No, it probably wouldn't. We're only 34 seconds behind though. If this is a full pit straight, if it's about 20 seconds, we should be around 8th place. So we're actually gaining. We want to try and catch Kanaan, although we've really got to look after this tyre. We don't want to let it get too hot. We want to keep cooling it down every so often. But we're getting on the back now of these couple of cars. We're chasing down the high tech of Hughes. A lot of these cars going really long. Newgarden is 12th. Rossi's managed to get in and out in front of him. Mardenborough in the Toda is out in front of him as well. We just want some damage limitation here to get up into the points, score some points at least. Try and cool these tyres down. Again, we don't want it running in the hot zone. Although we're going to get overtaken now by Ericsson in the motor park on fresh tyres. Although we're up into 7th, we've managed to get out ahead of Kanaan in the Arden. Ed Jones in the other Arden is in front of us. So damage limitation not going well. It is going well. We're up at 106 points to Arden's 100. So that is not too bad. Newgarden's still leading the championship at the moment, but we're going to have to try cool these tyres down. We can go high mode for a little bit now as we try cool these tyres down, try and have them working in tandem with each other. We're going to make the move on the motor park. Can we get... No, we can't get past Ed Jones there. His tyres cooled enough. We'll go switch back down to medium, and we've managed to make it on Arden, and Ed Jones locks up as well and stays in front of Kanaan, his teammate, so that is good for us. We're now chasing down the Toda of Mardenborough in 4th. We're now 8 points ahead in the championship standings, which is really good. This is a really... And we've got problems with the engine again, but 54%. I'm guessing we can just push with this tyre now. If we can get Mardenborough here, I don't think we've got any chance of catching Alexander Rossi. He's too far ahead of us at the moment. If we can make this move... No, we've got the Ardens coming back at us. Come on, keep hold of it here. We need to make this move. Go attack mode. It's possibly going to wreck the tyre doing this, but... Right, try and cool it down now. No, last lap. We can push it. We can push it. We can go high mode. We've got no chance of catching the Toda racing car from Mardenborough, but we can stay ahead of the Arden cars. We can keep our lead in the constructors. We can't weight strip anymore, although if we were starting higher up the order after qualifying, we maybe would have done a little bit better. Got close to Mardenborough there at the end, couldn't make that move. P5 is not a bad result for Newgarden considering where he was when we started this Grand Prix. Prost in the Artline finishes 3rd, Aleshin in the High Tech finishes 2nd, Rossi in the Van Amersfoort is 3rd, and then Mardenborough in the Toda in 4th place, followed by Joseph Newgarden in 5th, and then we get both Ardens underperforming this race as well, finishing behind us considering they started 3rd and 5th on the grid, I think. But not bad overall. Joey Mawson in the car and actually set the quickest lap of the race, last season's champion in F3. Vips drops down to 6th place. Joseph Newgarden keeps his spot at the top of the table. We keep our spot at the top of the table. Artline a long way behind us. They're not really going to be pushing us too much. We're at the halfway point of the season, the points that we have exactly. I don't think they're going to be doing much other than because Nicholas Prost is doing it and Kubica's doing it as well. They could make a push later on in the season. Hopefully they do, because then that is going to curtail Arden's chances. It might curtail our chances as well, but hopefully they can upset Arden a little bit. We're going to maybe have to weight strip to that full 80% down in qualifying. I don't think we need to do 75. If we do have to, we might have to try do 75, but if we did 75 on the engine, as we saw from 80%, it does almost go. In the last 2 Grand Prix, it's nearly gone at the end of the session. So let's just see if we get any changes to handling, since we've now got the handling centre. No real changes here. There's no real pickup in smoothness and consistency, which is what I think the handling did. We actually finished lower than the 4 for the first time this season, underachieving on what the chairman wanted, so we've lost a little bit of happiness. We didn't meet the sponsorship objective in qualifying, so we're losing a little bit more money this time out, although we're still really healthy money wise. We'll just do the interview before we have a quick look at the F1 standings. Qualification was a struggle. You definitely could have done better than 15th there, and deeply concerned with our qualifying performance. We'll just do that one. It doesn't upset the chairman. We're still at 100% there. So let's just have a quick look. Formula 2 currently being led by Sauber, who have not won a race this season. Malia in the racing engineering is out in first, but Pascal Verlaine bringing up the rear, and they've got Jenson Button not doing as well in 10th place, but I think he's only rated 3 stars at the moment. Meanwhile, in Formula 1, Mercedes have regained their lead in the championship. Ferrari second. Mercedes have got 4 wins, 2 of those coming from Scott Dixon, 2 of those coming from Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton really picking up the race, it seems, in the last couple of races. He's now only 1 point behind his teammate Scott Dixon. Where are we at with the season at the moment? Just about halfway. Those 2 are followed up by the Ferraris. We've got Daniel Ricciardo in 5th. Lance Stroll in 6th, where's his teammate Felipe Massa 13th. Sergei Sorokin not having too bad of a season. His first season in Formula 1 with the Renault team, beating his teammate Nico Hulkenberg, scoring a few more points than him. He's pulling Renault this season up into 7th. I don't know where they were last season, 7th again. So what have we got? Other than that, we've got Ferrari, who won last season, swapped about. Force India Williams has swapped about. Don't think Rapax have scored a point. It looks like Rapax are coming straight back down. They didn't make any changes to their driver lineup. Nick De Vries, a good driver in real life, not rated high enough in the game at the moment to really make it in Formula 1. They're really struggling at the moment, although they've been performing better than Roman Grosjean and Stoffel Van Dorn. But anyway, that is it for this episode. We've got another hot race coming up next time, Doha, and then we go to Portugal as well, which was pretty hot last season as well, but we've got a little bit of a chance of rain as we roll into Portugal. But anyway, we'll be back with that episode tomorrow, so I hope everyone tunes in back then. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment, all the usual razzmatazz. But until next time, I will see you down the road for the next episode, and goodbye.